The Special Investigating Unit, that's the SIU, has been given permission by the Special Tribunal to introduce new evidence in its case against Digital Vibes and several other companies and their directors. The SIU says it has uncovered new damning evidence in the awarding of unlawful contracts related to the National Health Insurance and COVID-19 communications contracts to the tune of 150 million rand. Joining us for more on this is SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago. Mr. Kganyago, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So we understand there are new developments in this long-standing case now with new evidence that you maintain is quite crucial to the case. Please unpack this for us.
Thank you very much, Fundo, and thank you to your viewers. What basically was happening here, we had filed an application to the Special Tribunal to set aside the Digital Vibes contract. Therefore, it was supposed to be heard on the 11th and the 12th of August, but before that, we would continue the investigation and we found crucial information that leads to monies that are paid to people and organizations wherein the people did not do any work or so on. And therefore, what we then did, we did an application to the tribunal to say we want to add a third affidavit that will then deal with all of those issues. But at the same time, the respondents also filed an application to stay the proceedings so that this proceeding mustn't happen. Therefore, instead of dealing with the matter on the 11th and 12th, therefore, we dealt with those applications, and then the one that we put in got a nod, and then we are still waiting for the one of stay of the matter.
Now, specifically on that stay of this specific matter, stay of prosecution, what grounds were they bringing forward? Are they saying perhaps because this matter is in the High Court, because they'd taken the SIU at some point to the court? Is it why they wanted at least a stay on this aspect of the tribunal?
You are right. You remember that Dr. Mkhize has taken us to the High Court where he wants to set aside the report that we gave to the president and the referral that we had done against him and others. Therefore, that matter has not as yet set in the High Court. Therefore, these ones want to say, while we are waiting for that one, can we not proceed with this one? Because ours was to set aside the contract and recover the money. And that is why our affidavit was very crucial in the sense that we are able to follow, being able to follow all the money, where it went to and what it was used for.
Now, this specific case, Digital Vibes, is now a case that you've been investigating for a while. I even remember an article back in 2022 where you made it a point as the SIU to come out and say nobody has been cleared, or at least insofar as it relates to the former minister, William Mkhize, that you're still investigating, and as much as you have been quiet, it's because the matter is being handled or looked into in the High Court, but nobody has necessarily been cleared. But if we just had to perhaps take us back to what were the findings in that report that you submitted to the president, just for the benefit of those who have been not following for the longest time until this very development. Just remind us of what exactly you found when it comes to this investigation on Digital Vibes and the communications contract.
At the time, we were clear that we found that the contract entered into between Digital Vibes and the Department of Health was irregular. It wasn't done in a fair manner in terms of the Constitution. And therefore, we also found that the money that was used at the time was used for wrong purposes, including, among other things, that it was turned into cash and delivered as cash in some place there in KwaZulu-Natal. I think it was a garage in KwaZulu-Natal. Therefore, that is what we had said, and therefore we had set ourselves to say, we are done with this investigation, we now want to recover. But while you do that, then you get new evidence that is brought to your attention, and that is why it was important. When new evidence comes, you can't now come and say, no, we are done with this investigation, we are not taking it further. But we have concluded the investigation, we have sent the final report to the president, and we have made referrals at the time against whoever that we needed to make referrals against, and therefore now this is the stage where we thought we were just going to go to the tribunal, finalize this matter, but new evidence came in, we investigated it, and we found new information that is now leading us to this third affidavit.
And then as for the matter in the High Court brought by the former minister, when will that matter be heard now? At what stage are you in?
We're not sure because we have not received anything as yet of the movement of that case from the High Court. Therefore, we are waiting because we are not the initiators. It was initiated by Dr. Kaizer. Therefore, we will then we then did what we are supposed to do in terms of responding to the fact that we will defend the matter, and that's where the matter is at the moment. Once we get any communication, maybe case management, we will know what to do going forward.
But I suppose it's not all that much impactful, or at least it doesn't compromise the process that you have been undergoing with the tribunal, because whether there's that matter in the High Court, you were still able to admit this new evidence. So most certainly the two are running concurrently now, those processes.
That is what we want to have, exactly, because it will be a big delay if the matter is stayed in the tribunal, because then it will wait for the other one in the High Court, and that might take longer than is expected. And unfortunately, all of these processes are outside of our hands as the SIU. We'll just have to abide by what the court has to say, or the tribunal.
Mr. Kganyago, as always, thank you very much for joining us on the program. That's SIU spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago there, speaking to us following the announcement by the SIU that they have been given permission by the Special Tribunal to introduce new crucial evidence, as you've heard there, pertaining to that specific case on digital vibes. Not everybody has been cleared on that matter. It's still ongoing, as you've heard.